In podcast 21, I spoke for the second time with Spencer Grant. He's a very close friend of mine who is a yoga practitioner, a Tai Chi practitioner, and a spiritual path dweller. Please enjoy whatever you listen to of this talk between me and Spencer Grant.
The podcast will now begin.
Okay, so to start off with relaxation, I'm just going to read 3 different quotes. The first one is from a Hindu teacher, Sri Ravi Shankar. He said, "Just be calm and relax. You will get all your answers automatically." The second quote is from Master Wu Handong. He said, "Relaxation is the highest form of Tai Chi." And
I know
then,
that guy.
yeah, you probably are the one who sent that quote to me. And then
Yeah, it's my teacher.
That's your teacher. Okay. Do you want to say anything about him?
My master, should I say. He's not a
Tai Chi
teacher.
master.
He's a master, yes.
Are you going to go see him pretty soon?
I am, but you can carry on. You can introduce the points you want to make.
And the last point was from a Tibetan Buddhist tradition that says all you really need is relaxation. So, yeah, there's obviously different paths or ways of life or spiritual traditions here that are all kind of pointing towards the same state of being, to be, the opposite of reactive and to be relaxed. So I don't know if you want to focus on talking about your Tai Chi teacher now, we can do that, or if you want to touch on relaxation, whatever you feel inspired to chat about, or both.
Yeah, it seems to be that in all those traditions that involve practice, that a byproduct of that practice is a inner peace and an inner relaxation, which seems to be the source from which they then approach life, right? And seems to be the source from which they try to ground themselves in, so that even when they are dealing with their psychological attachments and aversions and things that come up for them as they go about navigating the world and the people in it, they're just trying to re-ground themselves in that relaxation. And I heard, I think it was Rupert Spira last week said that there's like the direct paths and then there's the indirect paths. And the direct paths, the ones that talk about like relaxation being the highest, inner grounding, inner peace being the highest, they start with enlightenment and then they work from there, and it's like what Muji talks about as well. It's like, and Ramdas says the same thing. It's not that you try to solve all of your problems and then you would achieve an enlightenment. It's like you ground yourself in a level of relaxation and then you work from there. And over time, that relaxation may develop and grow and deepen and broaden, but it's still a foundation from which to work from. It's not like an end. It's not like you got to do it all first. Like it's always there, even if maybe we don't feel like we're in touch with it all the time. It's always there, and that's like that's the root. I touched on a few things there, but
okay. And how about your Tai Chi teacher? You're gonna go do some Tai Chi this summer, is that correct? I know you're gonna go see him.
Yes, 3 weeks next month.
Okay, and you've been practicing Tai Chi for a bit. You've been practicing yoga for a bit. Can you talk about what has Tai Chi done for you? If there's anybody that's like interested in Tai Chi, but they haven't really spent much time with it, what have you walked away with? Like, what has it given to you in return for practicing it?
Tai Chi?
Yeah.
Tai Chi has given, apart from an understanding, a deeper kind of appreciation and understanding of the country which you and I both live in right now, China. On a personal level, it's given me Tai Chi put me in touch with that relaxation that we talk about. And it was, I don't know if it was just the timing of my life. And then I realized that the relaxation that it put me in touch with it's the same source in which yoga tries to tap into and which meditation taps into, but they just use different techniques and that are based upon their different histories and cultural influences, but they kind of tap into the same energy.
Okay, let me stop you there. We have
Okay.
this word energy that like a lot of people use this word energy. Obviously in Tai Chi traditions, Qigong traditions, yoga traditions, different meditation traditions, the word energy is used. What is energy for you, if you were to describe it simply?
Energy, I think it's different than the way it's used in common tongue, when people say like, oh, I'm feeling tired, like that I'm feeling tired today, or I don't have the energy to do this, or I don't have the energy to do that. I think that it's almost like what's the word? Transcendental energy. Yeah. Like there's like a point that you have to kind of reach, and it's an ongoing thing that you reach again and again and again and again through practice, where you kind of feel a connection to the chi, to the energy, and then you become, through a more meditative mind space, that you can then become more aware of how your body is interconnected with that energy, with the chi that is both within your body but also in the trees, in the animals, in people around you, in the environment, like the underlying current of, in yoga they just call it like divine source energy, the prana that kind of underlies all of existence. And we have a connection to it, and like part of our practice, I think, is this ongoing returning to it.
So we have our own energy. There's energies around plants and animals, and perhaps the different environments, and maybe the universe as a whole, and different energies can affect us, and our energies can affect other people. Is that kind of
right?
Yes or no?
Yeah, and it's like a constant thing, because I heard a monk say the other week, and I heard Adam, our old boss, talk about this, that I don't know whose quote it is or insight: energy is neither created nor destroyed. Energy just exists. And the way that the monk used that was that, like, he was saying he has a certain amount of energy in the day, and there's a certain amount of energy within his environment, and how he navigates how he looks after his own body and mind and spirit, and then the actions he takes in the world, the kind of habits he has in the world, the way he interacts with people, what he gets up to in this life, all determines how much energy he's gonna have. And it's, there's only a certain amount that is available within himself and outside of himself. So, and I guess I'm using that in the context of this idea that there's an energy field in Chinese tradition, they call it qi, that just exists. It's just like an inherent built-into part of nature, and it is just it's like the form of the world that we live in exists as a manifestation of that qi, of that energy, and that energy just simply exists. And how that energy materializes changes depending on the place, the environment, the people. And then obviously people that are practicing Tai Chi, and people that are practicing yoga, and people that are practicing meditation, they're more directly coming into contact with that energy source. They're more directly able to influence the flow and nature and direction of where that energy goes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So the more we
Yeah.
understand energy, the more we connect to it, the more we can direct its manifestation in the world. Okay. You talked about
Yes.
how we've been in China, both of us here for about 6 years, more or less now. I'm intending to stay. You're intending to go. We've known each other pretty much almost the 5 or 6 years at least, since we've both been here. So what has been your biggest takeaway from China? What is either the biggest thing you've learned or the biggest thing that you're walking away from your experience from China now that you're moving on?
Funny, that you mentioned Tai Chi at the start, because I feel like I've been packing my stuff and saying goodbye to people and finishing off my work here. And I was going to leave pretty much either straight away, or I was going to just stay in this city and then leave in a few weeks' time. But then I decided that I was going to go back to the Tai Chi school. And the reason I decided to go back to the Tai Chi school was because I want my last few weeks in China to be Tai Chi. I want my last few weeks in China to be in the mountains, doing Qigong, doing Tai Chi, drinking tea, living like a kind of more peaceful existence, and tapping into that energy that we were speaking about. So, and I realized that I said to myself on my balcony the other day that if there's any one thing that I carry on or take away from China, or that stays with me in China, if that one thing is Tai Chi and the Taoism and Qigong, then I'll be happy with my time in China. Like that is worth it to me. Like to spend 6 years here working, and it's been good and ups and downs, and met amazing people, had good relationships, and it's been a journey.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing in many different ways. I won't get, it's time to leave for the various reasons, but yeah, if there's one thing that I carry with me after China, I hope it's it's Tai Chi and Taoism. And if that is the only thing I carry with me, then I think it's worth it to me, because
Yeah.
I feel fortunate to be able to practice Tai Chi, because even like I practice a lot of yoga, but yoga, as much as I love it, when done in the right context with the right people,
Yeah.
or with myself, yoga has become this commodified, materialized, globalized phenomenon.
Mhm.
And Tai Chi is kind of like this lesser known, lesser practice, lesser taught kind of, I'll say it, purer in not in the sense of the practice, because yoga can be very pure, but pure in the sense that it just hasn't yet been
Corrupted as
like
much.
commodified.
Yeah.
It hasn't been corrupted. It hasn't been materialized the way that yoga has. And there's something kind of cool about that. So I feel very fortunate that, and like we've lived in China for 6 years, and yeah, I mean, not to say that I'm special and unique, but like, there aren't that many foreigners that practice Tai Chi or Qigong or Kung
That's very
Fu.
true. Yeah.
There aren't that many Chinese people that practice Tai Chi and
Yeah,
Qigong.
that's true.
It's a very small percentage. It's like less than 1% of the whole population
It's kind of
practices Tai Chi and
a
Qigong.
niche kind of, or
Yeah,
path kind of, even in the States, even within the hippie tradition, there's not a lot of people practicing Tai Chi.
right. So I'm fortunate that I found yoga before China, and I found meditation before China, and I found a certain way of practicing yoga that then when I got to China, I was drawn and called and pulled towards Tai Chi and that kind of energy, because they're very similar. It's very similar. Tai Chi can be a very deep path, just like yoga can be. So yeah, I am grateful for
Respect.
Tai Chi. That would be the main thing.
Yeah, just the fact that you have the idea in your mind of potentially coming back to China to, visit your teacher and practice more Tai Chi shows that it's something important that you tasted here, and that you are packing your bags and ready to go, and you want to go one last time, shows that it's something that's important to you, and that you probably will continue to keep as part of your path. At least that's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
I hope so, in one degree or another, and there's yeah, definitely the qigong element, and like you mentioned, I've thought about in the future maybe when I return to China, and the main reason I would return would be to come and spend a few months at the Tai Chi school, get back in that practice, get back in that energy.
Okay, so I have a number of different things I could talk about, but I think I want to talk about one last thing. And I kind of just all of a sudden had a small little epiphany, or maybe it's a confusion. We've talked about pretty much since we've known each other this word omens, and we've also talked a lot about the word synchronicity. Do you see omens and synchronicities as being similar, the same, or two different phenomenons? Maybe we should explain to the audience in case anyone that's listening doesn't know what they are. How about you describe one of them and I'll describe the other? Which one do you want to describe, omens or synchronicity?
I'll describe synchronicities because I'm not too sure what omens are either.
Okay. All right. So my understanding of omens is like basically like when I first heard about them is through the book The Alchemist.
Yeah.
And basically from like a perspective of if you are believing in a god or gods, or if you're believing in the universe being able to communicate to us, uh, you could have different manifestations in life that are kind of like directors. So it's like there are these signs that arise in life. Something happens that points you in a certain direction. It's like this red flag that arises in life, metaphorically, and it captures your attention, and it's telling you something. And if you pay attention to it, and you're paying attention, you can see it, and then if you think about it, you can follow that direction. Yeah, that's kind of my understanding of omens. Did you want to say anything more about it, or do you want to jump to synchronicity?
So do omens have a message that's kind of a new message, or a message that is kind of related to one's kind of experience and goals? Because I always feel like with synchronicities, they tend to be like pointing you towards something that you're already kind of looking for. Whereas like the way you described omens, it kind of sounded like maybe it's like a higher power giving you a message about something that you haven't really thought about yet, or there's another route, another path, another option, another way for you, and you're like, it's like an omen. It has more of this kind of mysterious unfolding nature to it, whereas like maybe the synchronicities tend to be more like this kind of like aha moment where it's like realizing the kind of connection that you already felt was there and that you're already moving towards, but you were just like, you and your little ego, you're actually kind of powerless, but you think you're powerful, but then the universe is kind of being like, okay, I got your back, don't worry, like you're being supported by something else here, something bigger than you. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Omens
don't
are
know,
kind of
man.
similar.
To be honest with you, all I can say, I don't know. I don't know. But I think
Yeah.
for me, both of the words are connecting to some kind of external manifestation, uh, that is linking up with um, our personal subjective experience or vision or journey. And it's like this external either confirmation or director sign that's like pointing us in a direction. And I think, people, I've heard multiple times that people say if you're paying attention, you're going to observe more synchronicities, or you're going to see more omens, you're going to see more signs. Yeah. And then I think some people like Terrence McKenna also said that like if you're really looking for them, you're going to see them a lot more. But I don't know. I think
Yeah.
that for a lot of people that are a little bit not as open-minded, they're just like, this is BS and this is just making up stories in our head. And there could be truth to that, and people could get confused by it all.
Mm.
But then from a spiritual standpoint, maybe this is a reality. And going back to the chi energy, and how it can manifest in various forms in life, like we were talking about at the beginning. Maybe omens and synchronicities are concepts that are directly connected to the kind of chi energy of the universe that manifests in its various ways to direct and confirm that an individual is on the right path, so to speak. To find Spencer Grant at Twitter X, please look in the description box below this video to find his profile name. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to this podcast. I hope that you are able to enjoy listening to this talk.